Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another season here on the 5 Door Media podcast. Season 1 was all about sales. Season 2 is all about this thing called artificial intelligence, or maybe you know it better as AI. And, as a marketing agency, we've seen firsthand now how fast AI is reshaping the home service companies, how they quote jobs, schedule crews, hire talent, and serve their customers. That's why this season is dedicated to practical, real-world conversations with business owners and leaders who are putting AI to work and turning innovation into impact, automation into profitability, and insights into action. Let's get into today's conversation. Angela Chanowsky is a transformational business strategist, leadership expert, and the visionary behind Unique Genius. With over 2 decades of experience, she's helped entrepreneurs focus on their unique strengths, eliminate distractions, and build businesses they truly love. She's also a speaker, best-selling author, and a trusted advisor to some of the top-performing businesses in the country, sharing insights on leadership, time freedom, and business optimization. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm very excited for you to be here too. We have swapped podcasts now. I've been on yours like a few times in the past, so I'm pumped for you to be here today.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, we're changing seats, and I love it.
Absolutely. Well, first off, happy late birthday. You did just have a birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
But what else do you have going on?
Lots of exciting things. It's an exciting, as AI is changing the subject that we're talking about, as it is changing the world, things just move so fastly. Fastly? Is that a word?
That works. Yeah,
it is.
it's fine.
It's just exciting. It's exciting the changes that we get to see in our business. I think it's exciting as visionaries, the things that we get to create. So we're just excited about all of that, all the new creation going on in business.
Very cool. Well, yeah, so we are talking about AI today. That's what this season of this podcast is going to be about. And specifically, I want to know, do you remember the first time this thing called AI popped up on your radar? Like, do you remember who brought it to your attention first? Was it at a conference? Did you see a video? And what were your initial thoughts on this thing called AI?
I think my initial thoughts on AI are from movies that I still have as people, go back to, oh, this is what we saw. This is what was pre-shadowed of what we would have of, do you think it'll ever be like that? When machines could think and not just do what we inputted into them, but think for themselves. And, that's the real beginning. I think a lot of people think AI is brand new and think of when is the first time you saw ChatGPT, or when is the first time a tool edited your podcast for you, or someone answered the phone. Just have a very finite view of what AI is. Instead of years ago, we saw this of it was going to happen, and then slow things started to happen. So I would say that's my first memory, and I keep thinking back to it as things happen, as all the movies we saw it in.
Yeah, like sci-fi movies. I always think back to Iron Man, which I can nerd out about Marvel movies, but his Jarvis, right? So he is working in his shop, and he just speaks out to this robotic voice, and they start giving him advice on what he was building and things like that. So yeah, it's these sci-fi futuristic movies. But do you also remember maybe the first time you saw AI in action, or maybe you saw a client going or dealing with it, like I said, or maybe you're at a conference? Do you remember the first thing you saw with AI and you're like, wow, this is going to be a game changer?
I would say the first time I saw it as a game changer in my life, not necessarily the other tools doing things, but is ChatGPT. When it became, oh my goodness, there's never going to be a need for copywriters again. In the writing game of people using it. And I would say I was kind of late to the game, but I remember seeing it, so many people using it right after I published my book. And I thought, you know how long I sat and agonized over a paragraph of how to think of a different word, and there wasn't a solution that, to how to phrase something differently, that you worked back and forth with editors. And I will say, it's strange to think it's changed us in the way we think and the way like that we don't do that anymore. But I remember thinking that specifically with writing, with the book, and with this will empower so many people to maybe write more and have a voice, even in their own businesses, that people are afraid to have a voice and afraid of like that they're not going to use the right words to describe their business or put things on the website or, put things on social media about their business, that this could give people the confidence to use their voice and their thoughts and polish it easier.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Well, at the beginning, I introduced you and I mentioned that you are the visionary and CEO of Unique Genius, but tell everybody real quick, who is Unique Genius and how do you guys serve companies?
Yeah, so we serve companies and specifically in the home service industry. Home service and home contracting industry is where we focus, by helping business owners get their freedom back and scale faster with reduced overhead. And we do that through the use of strategic partners. We recently rebranded and used to be Unique Genius Virtual Assistants, but our partners are much more than assistants and the typical thing that people see in the world in virtual assistants and just low-cost labor. They really are strategic thinkers that come alongside in your business, whether it be as an executive partner to take things off of your plate, to take projects to the next level, produce podcasts, email management, calendar management, to help a business owner just function at a higher level, work in their unique genius and be able to delegate the rest, or whether it be an admin position in a home service, home contracting business, a CSR, collections, all kinds of different admin roles in a business.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you guys work very heavily in that home service world. So I'm interested, all the companies that you guys are strategic partners with, what have you seen most consistently home service companies are using AI for? And then also on the flip side, like where are you seeing home service companies maybe underutilizing AI in places where they could be using it more?
I think underutilization is so big. A lot of people are just using ChatGPT and using it, I hate to say wrong, but using the ChatGPT of a year ago, doing what I just said and asking it to write content for you and using it for newsletters or emails or things like that, or asking it basic questions instead of using it to ask you coaching questions and things like that. One of my favorite uses of ChatGPT for home service businesses right now is on phone skills, because we do a lot of answering phones. A lot of our team members are the customer service representative. They're answering the phone. They're making phone calls back. They're managing that entire relationship from prospect through the client journey. And if most people are using a VoIP, using some kind of system that their calls are recorded, you can quickly download all of those calls, put them into a trained bot, and do two things. One, now that bot is a resource. And so anyone in your company can have that open at all times. And if a client asks the question, everyone can answer it consistently based on how you've trained it without having to learn all these years of knowledge about the company. They have it all. And, you can have a human touch on the phone, developing a relationship with a whole, not catalog, but just the answers at your fingertips. And then the second way is asking it on those phone calls to be a coach. So analyze this. How can I have done better in the last week? Analyze the calls specifically and tell me how I could have done better with that client. So that's my favorite way we're using it, and underutilization. And then on the flip side, I'd say the most used, besides underutilizing ChatGPT, is AI for phone calls. And I think AI as an after-hours weekend solution is really becoming extremely advanced and a great way for service businesses to have some solution without it being a person on evenings and weekends.
Love that. Yeah. I mean, because we have clients all the time, for some odd reason, depending on what their service is, maybe their leads pick up on the weekends, right? So maybe if it's a homeowner and they finally have time to like actually fill out a form, they've got a weekend to sit down and relax, maybe look up some things. And a lot of them are suffering in that, like, I don't have a phones person on Saturday and Sundays, right?
Mhm.
So you could implement an AI voice tool to help make those calls or to answer those calls that are coming in, or even when a lead comes in to call that person and at least get basic information that could be delivered to somebody in office on Monday when everybody's back.
Yeah, absolutely. At least
Gotcha.
you're not
Yeah. And
completely losing, you know, not answering the phone.
yeah, I mean, and everybody knows this. Like, speed to lead is so important in the home service game, right? Like, I think your likelihood of closing that sale increases 95% if you get it within 5 minutes of that lead coming in. So, like, speed to lead on the weekend matters. And I imagine like hiring a human on the weekends just to answer calls that come in. That's a hard place to hire. Hard person to find that would be interested in that. So great tool. Love that. And like, I want to say this too, if somebody's listening to this and what Angela and I just described sounds like those sci-fi movies that Angela was talking about in the beginning of this, you're not alone. I just want that to be so known that if you're listening to this, you saw this next season is on AI and you're like, I guess I can listen, but like, dear me, it's going to be way over my head. My entire goal of this season is to anybody that listens, whether you are never even typed in chatgpt.com or maybe you are starting to make custom GPTs and you're advanced. I want everybody to be able to get value from these conversations because this is not the future anymore. Like the current world of AI that we're in, it's currently the present, and the things that you possibly are missing out on. I was actually on a podcast with Dave Carroll from Dope Marketing a few weeks back, and like the saying we kept talking about when we talked about AI is like, it's not hard, it just takes time. AI is not hard. It just takes time, because we're talking about like what you type in to AI. Like, Angela, that was such a good point when you're like, some people are missing out so much on what AI can do because they look at it just as an AI bot. But in the reality of it, you have the ability and the power to tell that AI bot what to become. Like,
Mhm.
Angela, you're like, hey, I need you to be my coach right now. I need you to be my consultant. I need you to be my assistant. You set the mindset of what you want that bot to be, and that sets the tone for the rest of that conversation. So
Yeah.
I just want you to know, if you're listening to this and it sounds all very overwhelming and confusing and you feel like I am Tony Stark from Iron Man talking like right now, I promise, keep listening. We're going to do our best to like really make this practical. Like what the goal is on this podcast as a whole, just for you to get some really easy takeaways. But like, let's talk about that too. Let's talk about that business owner that has heard of ChatGPT. Maybe they've heard of Claude or like other AI tools. They're on Facebook, so they see Meta's AI pop up and they get frustrated with it. What do you think it is that keeps people from like diving into tools like AI to learn more?
I think it is intimidating because you hear snippets of things, or you're scrolling through and people are giving prompts and you're like, what does that even mean? It sounds like a different language. If you haven't experimented with it, it sounds like a different language. And what am I going to delve into and not know what I'm doing? It just is, you're entering this whole new realm. And I feel like that every day. I love that you gave business owners the permission of that, because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing every day. And I just rely on learning from other people and know that there's a lot of resources out there. And the most basic is, you guys, if you haven't used ChatGPT, believe it or not, you can just get in there. And I do have the advanced, we use advanced plans and stuff. And
Yeah.
but without that, with the most basic, you can ask it, I've never used you before. Can you please be my coach in learning how to use you?
Yeah.
And just keep having a conversation with it, and it'll tell you how to do it. And through that one little baby step of it telling you all of the different things you can do, you'll learn the back and forth, that it's really a back and forth conversation. And then you can go pick up tips about how other people are using it in more advanced ways that people are using it. But it starts with that. And anytime you don't know, you can go ask it, and it'll help you learn to use itself.
Love it. And I would be embarrassed to admit how many times, and whether it's like business or personal use, I have typed the words, explain this to me like I'm a fifth grader.
Yeah.
Like, like this complex topic. I mean, whether it's like, I don't know, something political or something in the news, and I'm trying to understand this like overseas conflict that I just don't understand, and I don't want to read a bunch of CNN or Fox News articles to understand it. I asked ChatGPT like, "Hey, what's going over in Ukraine? Explain it to me like a fifth grader." Like, you know what I mean? But like, nothing is off bounds when it comes to typing that into that ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And like it will respond, right? I think another thing, some people get hesitant about the use of AI and just the existence of AI really is the philosophy of it. A lot of people believe that humans are going to be replaced by robots. We are currently in phase 1. Humans will no longer be needed, for things like that. What have you seen? Because I don't know. I'm seeing the opposite of that. I'm seeing humans are unbelievably still needed. We're just being trained to be better and efficient every day with tools like AI. What are you seeing in your world? Because I'm sure you'll hear that in like the strategic partner world that you're in. And I'm sure, your staff is using AI tools, but what are you seeing when it comes to like people's mindsets towards AI, that all this is an excuse to get rid of humans?
Absolutely. People have that, and sort of on both ends. I would say there is a big fear from people doing the work that AI has replaced, that people that were doing more copywriting work, data entry work that you can do through AI. And then higher level people who just refuse to be adapters, that are scared it's learning everything. Well, guess what? Everything was learning everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like if you have a phone, everything is learning everything around us. So that's not going to do that anymore. But yeah, a lot of people are scared. Like in the virtual assistant world specifically, and this is one of the reasons we made the pivot, many of the people doing that, very scared because it had to be a huge adaptation. And so a year ago we shifted, and a big part of our like mission and logos is the 3 things: the power of human connection that creates a community that fosters collaboration. And AI can never replace that, right? The power of that human connection. We talked about AI answering the phone. It's a great tool, but nothing will ever replace that empathy and the power of a human connection, building a relationship with somebody in your company. And we started saying about a year ago, and it's on all of our stuff to our people, not outward facing, but like our inward things, is you will not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by someone who is fluent in it. And what you did before, the task that you did before, might have been replaced and might be different because you can do it better with AI. And so the social media manager, the copywriter isn't replaced, but they're replaced with someone who uses AI better.
Yeah, that's so good. And we had an example in our agency where we send out like a test project when someone's interviewing. If it's almost like one of the last phases of before you get hired, we send you out a test project. It's actually really fun. We like make up a fake company that has a fake problem, and how would you solve it? Like really let them like come up with a strategy and see how they solve it. And we were almost so certain this applicant just typed everything that we sent over to them into ChatGPT and copy and pasted everything that like ChatGPT came up with. And like there was a part of me, one, how that person did that came off as like deceitful, and like it wasn't actually their brain. But I couldn't help but think, if they just would have been honest, and if they just would have said, here's the strategy, here's how I used AI tools to come up with this strategy, to help support the strategy, to come up with different copy. Like, I might have hired that human being, because if they would have shown, I just didn't like kind of sneaky use AI to answer your question, but like, no, I am very fluent in AI tools, and this is how I would change. This is how I would do this project, and this is what you could expect me in the company too. I'm like, I'm not hired that human, because that, like, the guts to take that, but then also to show that, like, no, I'm on top of it. I know how to do that, because we use AI all the time in our world, right? Um, I mean, literally, I used AI to come up with the flow of this podcast for this season. You know what I mean? Like, I'm using it a lot, and I have different like custom GPTs that I'm using now that are blowing my mind. But you're right. Like, it's, what was, say the phrase again? You won't be replaced by AI, but you'll be replaced by someone who speaks it well, or
who is fluent in it.
who is fluent in it. So good. So how do, oh man, so many ways we can go for that. How do home service business owners start? If they haven't logged into ChatGPT yet, how do they start? What are your recommendations on jumping into this world of AI and becoming more fluent in it, training their staff in it, without freaking their staff out that they're going to be replaced? What are your recommendations on getting started?
Well, one, without freaking their staff out that they won't be replaced, I think that's the first conversation of, you're not going to be replaced by AI, but the world is moving to AI, and we will fall behind all the businesses that are using it. So we need to. So you're not being replaced by AI, but I will have to replace you with somebody that can use these AI tools, because otherwise we will be left in the dust, knowing that. I also like encourage business owners to have those kind of conversations when they bring on virtual team members. Like, you're not being replaced by this person. They are here to support you doing your position better. Like, I want you to work in your unique genius. AI and another person helps you do that. That's the important first conversation with your team.
Yeah.
And then just get in. Like I said to begin with, I mean, just ask it how to use itself. And then once you get like a familiarity with GBT, get in there and build yourself a custom bot. And this just doesn't have to be like a fancy custom bot that you can like share with other people and does all these things. Just the most basic one of teaching ChatGPT your voice of your company, everything about your company. And again, if you don't know how to do this, you just ask ChatGPT, or there's tons of resources out there. We can help you with a little, this is what to do.
Yeah.
If you load it with all of your content, like, I am blown away every day. Like, this is my biggest blown away every day is mine. Like, we loaded it with my book. We load it with every podcast we're on, everything we've ever written and talked about with Unique Genius. And it just is, every time we do it, it's just like, learn my voice, learn my voice. These are all the things. Now it knows. And so if we ask it to write something, whether it be me or somebody on my team in my voice, it's just mind blowing to me.
It's creepy, isn't it? Yeah.
I just look at it and I was like, this sounds right wrong. I'm like, man, I'm smart.
Love it.
In a different way though, right? Like, I'm like, that would have taken me hours to try and remember when I said that and where I got that from. And one of my team members the other day, we asked it a question, it spit out all these things, and she's like, you always talk about those things. I was like, I know, I forgot it did. Forgot.
Love that. Okay, so they jump on, they start asking questions, they say, talk to me like I'm a fifth grader, blah, blah, blah. What are some cool things that you've seen some home service business owners do? That like maybe it might be like level 2, level 3, how they're using AI to change, or just add to the mission of Unique Genius, like giving them back more time to find space that they can just live in that unique genius and they have. What are some cool AI, hacks that you've seen some of your clients do?
I think in those,
or I guess what you've done too,
those coaching ones. So what I see a lot of our clients doing is what our team is doing for our clients. And that's the fun part of collaboration. You guys, whether you're a business owner, I think it's more important than ever to find a community, find a mastermind, find something that you're with other people and you can get ideas of how they're using it. And that's one powerful thing about our team members. So like our home service people are all in cohorts and exchanging ideas. When somebody comes up with something that they did solve a problem using AI, now everybody else can go back and use it in their business. Because it just is changing every day. Like somebody comes up with a new idea and you're like, oh my gosh, that works for every business. You know, so somebody came up with the idea to build the custom bot so that you would have help answering questions. And they're like, this would be great for our new team members to learn about their business faster. Oh my gosh, it would. Well, it's also great for everybody to know how to answer the phone, so that anybody in the company can answer the phone and ask anybody's questions. It's great to ask it a coaching question. It's great to take your whole scenario in there. This is other things that people have done. If they want to grow, like what's your goal? Put everything about your company that you know in there. Like this is where we are. This is where we're located. This is our average ticket. These are all the things I know about our company. And as admins, they know all that. And if you want to be a value, you're going to increase the revenue of your company. Ask ChatGPT to give you some ideas. What are the next 5 things we should do that we could easily implement? And those to me are mind blowing because they will give you simple actions and ideas, and you can put a couple of them in place.
I love it. Your life partner as well as your business partner, JC, he for a while was putting out these like, heart-wrenching prompts to put into ChatGPT that just like would, in the most kind way, destroy you, right? Like, the prompt was something like, hey, it's time to be brutally honest. Tell me my weak spots. Tell me where you think I'm not showing up where I should. Like these brutal prompts. And like, I would just wait every day for the new one and to just be destroyed for like 10 minutes by my ChatGPT. It was amazing. But it's so true. Like he was defining that role of what you wanted that ChatGPT moment to play as, and you go from there. 1 to 2 years from now, where do you see AI in the world of home service? How do you see it maybe revolutionizing certain areas of business for home service business owners? Where do you see this going? And I can't wait to post this clip 2 years from now and see how accurate we were, by the way.
I don't even think we can imagine. I mean, I am serious from my heart. I don't think we can imagine what it's going to be like 6 months from now. I think it's changing that fast. And we say, what does it look like in 2 years? I remember 6 months ago seeing AI when people are like, what can virtual team members do in the Philippines? They can't do things that physically need touch. And then sure enough, it was about 6 months ago, I saw somebody in the Philippines doing a pressure washer, and it was a robot here.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody was just using virtual reality and doing the thing. So everything that we think has to be done here, and our minds wouldn't go there, right? As home service business owners, you're like, no, I have to have the techs out in the field going around doing that. I have to do that. There's no other way to replace that. It's like our minds can't even see. I was like, oh, somebody is sitting on their couch. Reality, just
unreal.
Washing
someone's house. Playing a video game in the Philippines, and it's washing a house in America
and doing all of that. And eventually that it's gonna memorize that. Eventually somebody doesn't need a human. It's gonna memorize that house, and it'll be able to go do it again in the same pattern and recognize those patterns. Same thing with like lights. I think of designing lights. Like people put landscape lighting and lighting. There's like designers, right? That's a thing. It's an art. But after so many people do it, it learns it, and you just take a video, takes a scan of the house, and poof, there's your design, there's your pricing. Here's it all delivered in a package bow. Something that like took 3 or 4 people to do, and it's automatically done. So now that doesn't take somebody sitting here being able to do that. Already, I don't think I could have imagined a year ago, and a lot of people, being able to do estimates in home service, being able to do those virtually. And there's companies out there that like do video. Again, it analyzes everything, takes measurements, and right away, somebody it's never seen the house, wherever it is they're sitting. You can be sitting on a beach in Jamaica, owner, if you think you're the only one that can do it. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden you press a button and your estimate's delivered. So I think so many things 6 months from now will be different, but it's why you have to keep up, because
Yeah.
you can become so much more efficient, save money, reduce overheads, do things creatively, but your mind has to be open to these solutions of things we never thought we could do.
Yeah. Just be open, be receptive to it. And just keep asking questions. I mean, like I said in the beginning, none of this is hard. It just takes time. And a lot of other things in business, what you put into it, you're going to get out of it as well. Like what you put into AI is what you'll get out of it. You know, a bunch of people have expectations that it's going to take 10 years or forever to come up with this prompt that might help you a little bit. Or other people think like I should be able to log in and boom, things are done, right? But what you put into it is what you get out of it. And none of this is hard. It just takes time.
It takes time. And then I feel like an open mind and willingness to pivot to something you were all bought in on in your company. That like you did this the greatest. And not that it went away, but that you have an open mind to, in that scenario, okay, the tech no longer has to wash the house. They can go, they can spend the whole time with Mrs. Jones, letting her know how awesome her house is going to be and upselling her on, don't you want your concrete to look awesome too?
Yeah.
Things just shift and pivot and being open to doing that.
Very true. Love it. Think big, folks, and then think a little bit bigger after that. Yeah. All right. So we did this in last season, and we kind of wrapped the episode up with a fun, like, would you rather question. And our last season was obviously like sales, would you rather questions, but this season it's going to all be AI, would you rather questions. So,
okay,
Angela Chanowsky, would you rather trust AI to make your next key hire based on your values and metrics, or use AI to review and coach your current team weekly? Which AI would you want?
The first one, the hiring one.
You fully automate the hiring process.
And the reason for that is, and we use a lot in our hiring I mean, we make the final decision, but the layers and layers and layers. I mean, we do hiring on a different level than most companies because there's so many. But we use all science and AI. And the reason for that, and I would pick that one, is because it saves you from yourself, right? Like we just me as a visionary business owner, I love humans, and I just see this person that I can mold and make, and sure, come have a seat, and judge on the wrong things instead of actually analyzing if that person has the capacity to be the right person in the right seat, has the capacity to be the person that I can coach.
Love it. Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. That's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you walked away with some clear, actionable ways to start thinking about AI, possibly not as a threat, but as a partner in your business. AI is no longer the future. It is here now. And just like every tool, it's not about the tech itself. It's about how you use it to serve better, grow smarter, and lead stronger. Angela, thank you for being with us today. Before we go, where can people connect with you, learn more about your work, or follow along with what you're building?
Yeah, absolutely. Angela Chanowsky on all platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or Angela at unique-genius.com.
Awesome. Well, make sure to check Angela out and everything, the amazing stuff they're doing with strategic partnerships over at Unique Genius. Make sure to check them out. And if this episode has maybe sparked something for you, share it with a friend in the industry who's trying to figure out what AI means for their business as well. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.